Sony Online makes its own version of DayZ, Watch Dogs looks absolutely stunning, and The Last of Us Remastered, all on today's episode of Gaming News. So yeah, welcome to the first episode of Gaming News. It's fairly self-explanatory what this video is going to be about, so let's hit the ground running and go straight into it. The first story up today is Sony Online Entertainment has developed their own version of DayZ essentially. It's called H1Z1. There's some gameplay in the back there, courtesy of GameTalkLive.tv, and I have to say this game looks very promising. According to SOE President John Smedley, the idea behind H1Z1 is not so much just about survival, but more of a sandbox version of what you might expect DayZ to be. He doesn't actually mention DayZ, and I guess that's a very tactical thing that he probably shouldn't do anyway, because it does look very similar. But the idea is that they want players to go out there and they want to create their own community. They want to be able to craft something, they want to be able to live somewhere in the apocalypse, and that's exactly what SOE are giving us. The whole gameplay idea of creating your own homestead comes from the full craft system. You're able to craft basic items all the way up to really big structures such as houses and things like that. So this looks like a really advanced version of some of the mods that we have seen for DayZ already, but implementing it into a final release of a game, and I have to say, just from the footage in the background, the game does look very good already. Rather than just following in the footsteps of games like this that we've already seen for the PC version, since this footage has been released, SOE have also confirmed that this will get early access on Steam if you pay $20 for it, although it will be free to play when it comes out, and also a PS4 version has been confirmed too. Although SOE want to make it as different as possible and give people a different gaming experience, unfortunately they're going to have to follow in the footsteps of some other zombie apocalypse games that are already out there. There will be a day-night cycle included, which you will need a flashlight for, because otherwise you can't see bugger all. But you do have the option to carry around a flame torch, which means that you can just go and set things on fire, which sounds like awesome fun. There is no set release date for this game yet, but early access will be available within the next 6 weeks on Steam, so watch out for it if you're into these kind of games. Moving on to Watch Dogs. This story is quite impressive. Having looked at Watch Dogs for a long time now, we know it's been delayed for a significant period of time since the end of 2013. It's due to come out very soon, and we've had a glimpse at what Nvidia and Ubisoft have been working on for the PC version of Watch Dogs. And the footage in the background just looks absolutely mental. Lead PC engineer Paul Blassie talks in detail about some of the things that they've been working on with Nvidia, but mainly the HBAL Plus and TXAA technology that Nvidia have available is why this looks so good. With HBAL Plus, the developers have been able to create dynamic shadows. Basically, if you look at trees on the ground in real life, you can see that there are shadows in some parts where the leaves are and where the branches are, and some parts where the sun can actually get through. That's now available in Watch Dogs. Before that was implemented and before it was delayed, that wasn't available, so all the shadows would just be huge blocks on the ground. That's a really nice touch. HBAL Plus, which stands for Horizon-Based Ambient Occlusion, has been available before, but in this iteration it's more efficient and it runs faster, which makes it ideal for an open world game like Watch Dogs. Blassie then moves on to state that they're also using the TXAA technology in Watch Dogs as well to reduce some of the smaller aspects of graphical glitches in the game, such as sort of like flickering on the screen or small bits of static that you might see from time to time. TXAA will smooth that right out. With those two technologies, the PC version of Watch Dogs is probably going to look absolutely stunning. Now I feel a little bit sorry for the console guys here, but sorry guys, it's just PC. They like to develop things here that you can't get on console, and I have to say the attention to detail even in that video does look very good. If that plays out in the actual game when it drops on May 27th, I'll be extremely impressed. And finally, today we're going to look at The Last of Us, which is being remastered for the PlayStation 4. Now, we know that this game from Naughty Dog was perhaps the best game of 2013, and in terms of storyline was probably the best game ever produced for the PlayStation 3. So for me, it's absolutely no surprise whatsoever that this has been remastered for the PlayStation 4. Now, of course, there are going to be some upgrades, because what would be the point of porting it to PlayStation 4, which has got better graphical power, if there wasn't any upgrades? So we're looking at a 720p to 1080p jump and improved anti-aliasing along with newer textures as well. Now personally, I never actually played The Last of Us on PlayStation 3. I only watched multiple playthroughs from various other YouTubers, and I have to say it was an absolutely amazing storyline. So for this on the PS4, I don't have one yet, but this might sway me to buy one. And that is the roundup of the top 3 stories from the gaming news this week. I hope you enjoyed the first episode, guys. I'm ready to take on as much feedback as you can throw at me, because this is the first time I've ever done something like this before. So make sure you leave all your comments down below today, and make sure you hit that like button as well, so I definitely know that you want me to carry on with these type of videos. It is something new, it is something a little bit different, but I asked you guys in a previous video and you gave me an absolutely amazing response, so I thought I'd give it a try. But until next time, guys, and the next episode of Gaming News, my name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.